In a 2012 National Geographic video, this future Skinwalker Ranch investigator listed his scientific qualifications to include alien invasions.
I'm a subject matter expert in space defense, asymmetric warfare, rocket science, and alien invasions.
This is Travis Taylor. He doesn't like me very much, and he was not present when I visited Skinwalker Ranch. But he's arguably the star of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch on the History Channel. So let's get to know him.
There's something glowing in the sky. Let's go talk to it.
Taylor has multiple science degrees from multiple universities. His 2 PhDs are in optical science and aerospace engineering. Throughout his career, he's worked on various programs for the Department of Defense, including the U.S. Army's Space and Missile Defense Command. He's also an avid storyteller, the author of 19 science fiction books with titles like One Day on Mars, Human by Choice, and Bringers of Hell. And for the last 13 years, he's appeared on multiple TV shows. He starred in Rocket City Rednecks, a reality show where self-described rednecks do various science experiments. In one episode, they build a rocket powered by moonshine. More recently, Taylor is known for his appearance in almost 40 episodes of Ancient Aliens, a show which promotes the pseudoscientific idea that humans were created by aliens, or descended from aliens, or something like that. Taylor says he's been an expert on the Ancient Aliens theory since he was 10 years old. A small sample of Taylor's other paranormal claims include a personal encounter with a Native American ghost.
A native walked into my bedroom, a really old native,
who he says touched him and cut his face.
So when I looked in the mirror, I was bleeding from that spot.
And also a story about how the Skinwalker poltergeist decapitated one of his chickens.
I had like an electromagnetic attack on my chicken house and decapitated a chicken.
Back in 2019, while filming Season 1 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Taylor says he went to the Pentagon to brief some curious officials about what he was seeing on the ranch. And it was there, he says, that he met Jay Stratton for the first time. This is Jay Stratton. He was a naval intelligence officer who, over the course of 30 years, held many positions in the Department of Defense. Many don't know his name because he's only just recently retired and made his first public appearances. But while in the government, Stratton was involved with UFOs in Skinwalker Ranch for at least 15 years. Back in 2007, Stratton says he read the book Hunt for the Skinwalker, along with his co-worker James Lakatsky at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Our previous report debunks many aspects of this book, which contains many spooky stories, but provides no evidence at all to back up any of its claims. Despite this, both Stratton and Lakatsky were fascinated by the book and its stories of UFOs, ghosts, and monsters. Lakatsky lobbied Senator Harry Reid to acquire $22 million to study UFOs in Skinwalker Ranch. Lakatsky was the director of this study, a program called OSAP, and Stratton was a lead investigator. In Lakatsky's self-published book about OSAP, he refers to Stratton with a pseudonym, Jonathan Axelrod. But it's now been confirmed to me by multiple sources that Axelrod is Stratton. The book says Stratton first went to Skinwalker Ranch in 2009, and while there, he became possessed, or infected, with a poltergeist, and that it followed him home and tormented his family. The following is a partial list of what Stratton reportedly encountered. A huge wolf-like creature, screaming black shadowy humanoids, nightmarish dogmen, dark humanoid creatures. Even after OSAP was shut down in 2012, Stratton continued his pursuit of the paranormal, utilizing his position at the Pentagon to move the needle. It's reported that Stratton used his clout to create an official UFO task force within the Pentagon. He would then become the director of this task force. And that brings us back to Stratton's 2019 meeting with Travis Taylor. At the meeting, Stratton says he had a copy of one of Taylor's books, had read it, and was very impressed. It was a book about how to defend Earth from a possible alien invasion. It was in this meeting, again a briefing about Skinwalker Ranch, that Stratton asked Taylor if he wanted to join his UFO task force at the Pentagon. Taylor says he responded, "Hell yes." For the next 2 to 3 years, Travis Taylor would secretly work with Jay Stratton at the Pentagon, hunting UFOs and the paranormal, while also starring in entertainment shows on the History Channel about UFOs and the paranormal. I say secretly because Brandon Fugel and the rest of the Skinwalker crew say they had no idea Taylor was doing this. In June 2022, after retiring from the Pentagon, Taylor finally went public with his secret. The Skinwalker crew was shocked.
So it was a bit of a shock.
In a video on the official Skinwalker Ranch website, Skinwalker Chief Security Officer Brian Arnold addresses this directly with Taylor.
It's hard to kind of wrap my head around to find out that, you were wearing two hats.
Taylor states he couldn't tell them about his secret Pentagon position because he swore an oath not to.
I signed an oath, I swore an oath actually, to protect that information, so I couldn't do anything about it.
But he tells the crew that he used his Pentagon position to protect them and the ranch from men in black.
I was giving you guys back cover. Jay Stratton told me was that if we find anybody doing anything illegal, if we find these men in black, that we're taking them down.
In UFO folklore, men in black are mythical government agents that work to suppress the truth about aliens and other things. Often, these men in black themselves are paranormal, appearing out of nowhere with strange, sometimes ghostly faces. However, beyond stories, there is no evidence that they even exist. It should be noted that Travis Taylor has publicly said that he thinks I, Stephen Greenstreet, just might be working for these nefarious men in black.
Man, it sure does seem like some of these guys, like Greenstreet, for example, have a motivation, a shadow group behind the curtain that's driving this, paying this, funding this.
That maybe these men in black are paying me to debunk things like Skinwalker Ranch.
If we find, some shadow organization or some men in black or whatever, then they're breaking the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we need to find them and bring them to justice.
This is, of course, not true, and is utterly ridiculous.